Greetings all, my name is Thavian Hawk, and I decided after watching a abominable attempt at a Let's Play of MechWarrior for Mercenaries that I'm going to go ahead and do my first ever Let's Play on my channel, playing this game. Now, one thing that the guy who I was watching, I will not name him, couldn't understand was things like the difference between the Kellhounds, Grey Death Legion, Northwind Highlanders, and Wolf's Dragoons, glossing over things like what bonuses you get at the start. He went with the Grey Death Legion because he wanted Lost Tech, not even understanding that Lost Tech is recovered technology that was lost in the Succession Wars. And the reason the Grey Death Legion gets it is they found the Helm Core. It's very classic Battletech lore. Very good novels, very good series. Recommend you go back and read them, or do what I did, convert them all to audiobooks. Nonetheless, I digress. So usually I end up going with either the Kellhounds or Wolf's Dragoons, just for the fact that I like having clan tech. Kellhounds, of course, you get access to clan tech pretty effectively because of their links with the Wolves in Exile and Bale and Kell. And of course, Wolf's Dragoons were literally a bunch of clan mech warriors, mostly freeborn, who came to the Inner Sphere. In fact, they have access to clan hardware from the get-go because they actually manufacture clan mechs. The Omni mech, the Direwolf, aka Daishi, was the first mech to... Okay, I'm just going to get into the game because spamming or gushing about the story is irrelevant. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. Yeah, Wolf's Dragoons it is. Yeah, caps lock. And some classic. Now, usually regular's kind of easy. Veteran, you can go harder, but if you actually want to play without cheating, 9 times out of 10 your entire group's just gonna get wrecked. One thing I also always do, I know it's not really in the spirit of playing a game like this proper, I usually play third person, not first person. Just change that in the menus. There you go. You should notice that my recording has it stretched 16:9, but since I'm playing on the MechTech updated version of the game, it does have full 16:9 support in-game, but the menus by default are actually 4:3. So you're actually seeing a weirdly stretched version. I don't know why, and I'm not going to bother. OBS is just recording it that way, and as long as the game looks good. Let's jump into the campaign. You get the simple guide from your comms officer and XO. She is a very interesting character if you actually listen to her, how she's an orphan from the clan invasion and whatnot, but you can really just ignore her. Just skip on through. By default, you get 4 mech warriors yourself, Rufus, Shredder, and Hannibal. You have 2 different classes. You have command officers, and you have normal mech warriors. They all have basic stats in gunnery, piloting, sensors, and blind fighting. As they fight, depending on what kind of mechs you put them in and the conditions of the fighting, their skills will actually improve. The advantage of starting with mech warriors with low skill sets is, as you can see, their weekly salary is low. Their salaries do not actually go up throughout the game, but their skill ceiling increases, so you save some money. That said, if you have an issue playing this game and the salary of your mech warriors are actually a problem, you are not doing well enough and you need to reevaluate your playstyle. Because I have been able to play this game with no issues whatsoever. I usually honestly fire Rufus, and that I might occasionally keep Hannibal because the skill set with gunnery is actually feasible, but the first few missions, especially if you take the heat, or if you, well, first few missions you don't really need anyone else. I will in this case actually keep Hannibal, however, so bye-bye. Okay, now one reason I went with Dragoons is, yes, you get tons of fleas, which is actually lore-wise a mech that they brought back to the Inner Sphere, but it also means I can sell them. I do not need a full company of light mechs. The Cougar and the Uller going to be more than enough. Now, I could go into saying their traditional names and clan, but whatever. Light laser, small lasers, really fun to mess with. Flamethrowers worthless, again, unless you want to mess around. Clan LRM 20s, not my favorite. I shy away from LRM 20s until the late game. Streak SRMs, however, amazing. And just like the smaller short-range weaponry, machine guns are worthless. You don't really need to change up your mech set, especially early on, because unless you want to grab like a Puma or Adder, I would love if there was an option to change them to their classic clan names, whatever. You don't really need to. These mechs, especially the Cougar, more than enough. I mean, the Puma is actually the base of the Cougar, which is kind of weird. Even though they don't necessarily look the same in this, they are the same frame. Okay, from the start of the game, you're on outreach, Wolf's Dragoons holding, given to them, yada yada blah blah blah. You can actually read the lore down there. You can go down to Holleran 5 or Eaton up in Lyran space, Lyran Commonwealth spaces. Well, Commonwealth or Lyran Alliance? Yeah, Lyran Alliance at this point, space. It's actually going to be Davian that you're working for, and Halloran 5 down in Federated Suns, that is Steiner, ironically. But at this point in the conflict, it's, yeah. I usually go with Eaton if I want to have a challenge, because some of the missions you are literally facing a company or more of mechs, and you have to either choose to stand and fight or run. Or if I really just want to get going, Halloran 5 works because you get a free medium mech in the first two missions if you need it, and it's just a better start. One jump, light fee to go. Again, if you're having issues with transit fees and jump costs and servicing your mechs, then you've got an issue. This mission, very simple, 4 points. You literally could pilot a flea on this mission and win. It's almost impossible to lose. I'm basically only really take myself. I will take a lighter mech, which will save me some money. Things like ECM, if you ever played a MechWarrior game, MechWarrior 4, what the Vengeance, Black Knights, and eventually Mercenaries simplified the mech design and upgrades. If you play MechWarrior Online, you'll notice this is like super simplified graphical representation and whatnot, but it works. I'll give you some basic intro to the mech design I work with. I usually just straight up, okay, can I max the armor? Yes. Spare some leg armor. I can't get too much on here. It's only a few tons on this chassis. Weaponry, if I just go ahead and throw like one large laser is pretty much enough, although admittedly I usually go AMS and advanced gyro, then crank up the speed. And for this I can actually drop pretty much all the heat sinks. And let's go reactive armor, waste the tonnage. Again, this mission is pretty much impossible to lose. At one point you can literally just run straight into... let's go ahead and fire on the medium laser instead. Heat efficiency, drop the ferrofiber, crank that up. And there we go. That's good. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect in these weather conditions. Super fast, very okay range, not so great range. I mean, 400 meters is actually great, but we want longer range. And let's get firing. Let's go. I usually group my weapons into long range, medium range, if I have different types. I usually like to do simplified mech designs where it doesn't really matter. Notice my firepower and armor, not that great. Speed and heat efficiency, excellent. And let's just go ahead and launch. Let's see how this works. There we go. Now the game looks fine. The MechTech mod pack did an extremely good job of modifying the game to render widescreen and gameplay. updating the HUD and whatnot. As you see, I swapped through. It's actually, I don't utilize the mouse when I play this game, although you can. I mostly just run off keyboard, but you can play it however you like. Set my weapons on cycling. You cannot edit your weapon groupings in combat like you can in something like MechWarrior Online. That was one cool thing they included in that game. But this mission, as you can see, no mechs that I'm facing off. I'm facing on basically light attack boats. Unless you're on the hardest possible difficulty, they have absolutely no way of really harming you.
Making best speed to beta.
I actually do like the voiceover in this game, just like Crimson Skies, the PC version, later the Xbox games, or Xbox game, High Road to Revenge, had really good voiceovers. This game actually shares the same game engine as Crimson Skies, and I believe the PC version of Halo Combat Evolved, Halo CE PC, utilized this game engine, although modified, of course. And perfect aim, I have not. I know for a fact exactly where the pathing of all these enemies are. I've played this game so many times. These guys are actually going to go up into this base area, and they will eventually just shoot and kill like a huge quantity of fuel tanks, and if you kill them, you make less, or you make more money. And that's what Castle just said. Castle is your XO. And if I wasn't submerged and had good heat efficiency, these are actually standard SRM racks that they are packing. Very good short punch damage, and with the mod pack that was implemented with by MechTech, they actually modified SRMs to include Inferno heads, so they dump a lot more heat, or a similar high output heat head. So it'll actually increase your heat and really blind you with the smoke that comes off them. And these guys are a pain. If I wanted to do mouse aiming, I could probably do better with just manipulating my arms, but it really doesn't matter. Those guys can't really do much. They just come in and drop missiles. The cruiser, on the other hand, or destroyer in this case, he is launching some pretty powerful missiles that will wreck my face, but there's this beautiful little trick, given the fact that these guys don't have any, well, way of hurting me up close, is notice that his life is going down. Mine is not. His missiles miss. My lasers do not. And I have just defeated him.
Looks like you were worth the money.
Don't you forget it.
Excellent work, Commander.
Now, I just took a lot of damage from its reactor destruction, or breaking up, but I can tell you that the cost of repairing my mech is not going to be so great. And that was the first simple mission. This said, pro diner, pro nobility, good guy, protecting people from bad guys gets nobility. Infamy comes from things like killing innocent people, like fighting a city and blowing up people. And factions, Steiner and Davian. Ironically, Davian is Victor Steiner Davian, and Steiner is Catherine Steiner Davian. It's literally just a brother and a sister fighting over their hereditary, well, fractured nation. Well, that was the first mission. Bit of an intro. Hope I didn't gush too much over things. I'll upload the next episode later. Peace.